Happy holidays, sports fans. Tonight we bring you a special episode of Sports Desk because we have two of the best basketball minds in the country right here on the show. I'm Gina Rafino.
And I'm Cheska Litton. We are joined by two champion coaches, Rain or Shine head coach Yeng Guiao and Purefoods Star Hotshots head coach Tim Cohen. Good evening, guys, and welcome to Sports Desk.
Welcome. Happy holidays.
Oh,
Happy
good
holidays.
evening.
Merry Christmas to everyone.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
All right, let's start because I know this could be a very long program. We want to pick your brains as much as possible. But Coach Tim, great run, four straight championships. Started a conference a little bit slow, some injuries here and there, and unfortunately could not push through past the quarterfinals, the first phase of the quarterfinals. But still an achievement to win those four championships. Talk about that ride, that journey.
Wow, it seems so long ago now. I mean, the losing is really fresh, and the winning it seems like a long time ago. But like this particular conference that we lost, we started off slow and just never got going. We were doing that in every conference previous to that. The four conferences before that, we started off slow in every conference and found a way to start playing well in the playoffs and kind of peaked at the right time. But this time it's kind of like the players got used to turn on and turn off that switch, and this time it didn't turn on. So, here we are watching Coach Yang do it. We wish we were there.
Coach Yang is saying enough.
Yeah, that's right.
But when you have a run like that, I mean, we've seen it. You did win the last Grand Slam as well back in '96, and then you had the previous Grand Slam. And when you have runs like that, we've seen like Talk and Text do it. It's like one finals appearance after another. Eventually, at what point does it hit you when your guys are just tired?
Well, there's certainly a case of burnout. I mean, no doubt about it. I mean, there comes a point from a coaching standpoint, I don't know if Coach goes through this, but there comes a point where you've demanded so much from your players, and they have given you so much, just over and over again, and they surprise you. And then suddenly, you keep asking and asking and asking, and pretty much they're ubus. There's nothing there to ask for anymore. And they're like, hey, I gave you everything. And then it becomes like, if I may say, like from a wife or a mother standpoint, it's like you're nagging them after a while. You're nagging and nagging, and they get resentful. Okay. And so you have to kind of withdraw, otherwise the relationships can be broken. So there's a fine line there, and we asked for a lot, and they really gave a lot during that whole time. And it was a beautiful run.
So there was no problem with motivation as far as, okay, we won this already, but keep on motivating the players.
Oh yeah, there is a problem with motivation. Okay. That's essentially the problem. It's just getting them to reach deep. Because to do the things that we had to do, that we did, we had to really reach deep. I mean, pull out all the reserves, and then it just got to a point where we just didn't have any reserves left, and we were asking for what wasn't there. Oh. And I think at that point it gets a little bit, difficult. Players are kind of like, hey, get off my back. I just won you a Grand Slam. And so now the point is they've lost, and they realize that they can't play that way anymore. Yeah. So the expectations are going to the next conference. Yeah. We're going to be ready. Right. We're going to be ready.
Well, Coach Yang, you've been so famous for turning franchises around, right? You've taken talent and basically lifted them up to where people expectations surpass those expectations, and you've done this also with Rain or Shine in the past couple of years. Talk about how you were able to transform the team into a mediocre team and then into the elite. I'm serious. If they were a mediocre team, they couldn't break through, and then Coach Yang stepped in, and then now they're among the elite in the PBA.
He's done that every time. Yeah. Every team he's gone to.
Yeah.
No, I'm just lucky. Maybe there's a lot of hard work that goes into it. There's some planning. There's a system that you put into it. But most of the time, it's really the breaks. I mean, we won a game against Alaska that brought us into the semifinals outright. Just because Jeff missed the free throw, was rebounded by Jericho Cruz. He put it back, and we got the lead by 1 point. At that time, I thought we lost the game they were ahead maybe 5 or 6 points with about a minute to go. So I thought that was a lost game already. So there's a lot of luck that goes into it, but of course you have to put in the hard work. Coach Tim Cone, you know, a lot of teams, a lot of coaches would give their right arm for what they have accomplished. And I'm one of those coaches. And as soon as they got eliminated in this conference, in the All Filipino, a lot of teams really heaved a sigh of relief, and they say, "Wow, now Tim Cone and Purefoods are not going to be problems to us anymore." And that's how all the teams looked at them. And for rain or shine, we want to be like a Purefoods maybe. We want to be like a contending team, not just contending, but maybe even trying to go for a Grand Slam. That's all. That's what all the teams want. For my part, I've been very lucky with supportive owners. I mean, they've given me a lot of leeway to make decisions. They've given me a lot of opportunities to tinker with the team, to put in a system that might be a little unorthodox to some others. You know, it takes a lot of guts and it takes a lot of risks if you're an owner to just leave your team to somebody maybe who's not conventional. But they've given me that opportunity, and so far it's worked.
To be fair, Coach, and to give you credit, if there's consistency, that is not luck.
Yeah, well, if I may say, I mean, one of the things I learned early in my career that Sonny Jaworski, you know, we always say, you know, you make your own luck.
Yeah.
And if you're going to take what Coach Yeng says, then our Grand Slam was really lucky because they missed, what, 4 3-pointers, wide open looks that gave us the Grand Slam after we missed 4 free throws. So, you know, there's always luck involved, but you make your own luck, and you make your own luck through your hard work, and which was what Coach was saying. And no one works harder than Coach Yeng. No, truly. You can see his players reflect that.
We are going to continue this Mutual Admirations Club meeting.
Yeah.
You're watching the Christmas special episode of Sports Desks, and of course, still with us are Coach Yeng and Coach Tim. All right, before the break, of course, you guys are both complimenting each other, and well-deserved. But, you know, it just goes to show that there is a certain level of respect here, and we both have that respect for you guys as well. And when you two face each other, though, when you know that you're going to face Coach Tim Cone, when you know that you're going to face Coach Yeng, there's a certain level of preparation that goes with this. And I'm just curious because you have both been in the league since 89, 90, I believe.
89,
I came in at 90.
There.
Right.
So just 1 year apart. And there's a huge history behind your careers. But when you play against someone for that long, you learn their tendencies. You learn their coaching style. So Coach Yeng, can you describe Coach Tim's coaching style first?
Well, of course, you always have to deal with the triangle against Coach Tim. You're trying to figure out whether you're switching it, whether you're zoning it, whether you're just fighting through the screens. So that's the first. It's just so. It's an efficient system. It's a system that is really imbibed deeply into the psyche of the players. So they're just like a machine when you play them. And Coach Tim has evolved into somebody who will make the adjustments at the click of a finger. And sometimes, you know, you can't sleep nights just trying to prepare, just trying to think about what you'll do against Coach Tim's team. And I think some people say that rain or shine or my teams are tough, but you know, Coach Tim's teams are probably tougher mentally, not just physically. Honestly, I was telling my guys a few days ago in practice, you know why we lost last year to Coach Tim Cone's team? It's because they were tougher than we were. They were stronger than we were. They were in better shape than we were. So we played them twice in the finals, and we couldn't get past them. We couldn't win a championship against them. That's why if you're talking about toughness, that's toughness. If you're going to win a three conferences, win a Grand Slam, you have to be tough. And as I said, that's what teams want to be in the PBA. Some teams get close to it. Some teams win one conference, one championship, but Coach Tim Cohn won 3. And he won four.
Yeah, four in a row. But Coach Tim, how do you prepare for the unpredictability of Coach Yeng?
That is the worst.
This is really interesting to me to hear it on the other side. It really is. This is an interesting thing. It's hard to believe that he believes that stuff about us because it doesn't feel that way. Obviously,
I don't show it, of course.
Yeah,
I'm not going to show that in a game.
everybody knows that Coach Yeng and Rainer Shine are our contrapelo, right?
Yes.
I mean, we just haven't seen. I mean, we have our worst losses against Rainer Shine. They have our, they come out and they beat us by 20, 30. When they beat us bad. And
no, that didn't happen last year, Coach. You beat us bad last year.
no, I remember one really bad when the third conference, right before we made a run to win that championship.
Yeah.
You beat us by like 30, 35.
But you came back strong,
We came
stronger
back,
than ever.
yeah.
After that loss, I think we woke them up.
Yeah.
That's a bad thing about that win.
It was a good win.
poked the bear.
It was a good loss for us at that point. But, the thing you have to worry about, Coach, and everybody will talk to you about this, is that, the players, it's a physical game, and you have to prepare yourself mentally for that. I mean, and that's so difficult to do it because they come in with a ferocity that comes every game. They're just so consistent with that every game, and I don't know how you do that. And I wish I could figure out how you do that.
We try to practice it every day.
You must have some great
no.
practices. Because it's just so consistently there all the time. I mean, it's there, not just when we play, but everybody. And there's that certain level of intensity that they come with all the time. And then there, of course, in our north. I used to call you the excuse me, you're probably mad at me, but I used to call to my player, I call them the backwards team, because their bigs would play out and their guards would play in, and so there's always an uncomfortable feel going on all the time because your bigs are having to get out of their comfort zone and extend out and chase the Big Bo and all those guys around, and then their little guys would post you up all the time or get to the boards. And our little guys don't like to do that kind of stuff. They don't want to play post defense. They don't want. So it was kind of a backwards team, and then you just never know who's going to beat you that night. You go out and you play San Miguel, you focus on Fajardo.
Yeah.
You go out and you play Talkentex, and they have a lot of weapons, but still you'll talk about Randy Dell and maybe Jason and maybe Jimmy, in the past. But with him,
You don't know.
you don't know. I mean, you really don't know every night. And the thing that really helped us this last year was when we had Ian.
Yeah.
And Ian kind of filled out our depth, and we were able to kind of match his depth. But prior to last year, without Ian, we couldn't beat him. And now, without Ian, we don't beat him. So really, the Ian's been the key for us to build up that depth.
He was the X factor.
He really
Every
was.
time Ian played, every time he pulled him off the bench, he's going to score 6-8 points off us. And then just continue on with this rebounding and with this defense. But that's what he missed this conference.
But I tell you, it's just really, the way they play is just so unique. And you're out of a comfort zone all the time.
Okay. We'll be having a discussion with more of Coach Yeng and Coach Tim when we return. This is Sports Desk. We're still joined by Coach Yeng and Coach Tim, and of course now we're going to be going a little bit of a history lesson and trying to compare some of the current players that you guys coach to the players that you guys coached before that of course won you guys championships as well. Jessica has a list of, she's excited for this one.
I've been wanting to do this for so long. And now we have the perfect people to ask these questions to. Okay, so who would win in a battle of these between these players?
Or maybe not just as who would win, but who would I guess, perform better,
Better, yeah.
in a situation?
Okay, so we'll start off with Coach Tim.
All
We
my
have-
current players, definitely, because my old players don't care any matter. My current players might get mad at me if I tell them bad.
Well, we're-
History.
So prime, okay? We're talking
At
the prime
at the
year.
prime of their careers. All right, so we have Johnny A versus Mark Baroka.
Well, I mean, Mark is a really, really special guy. I mean, he's fun to be around. He plays really hard. But there is nobody like Johnny. You know, Johnny really is unique and truly, in my mind, the greatest point guard that ever played in our league. Hector Calma is a really good friend of mine, and I want to say Hector is there too, but, you know, deep down, I really have to say Johnny. You know, he was clutch, and he was so easy to coach and even-tempered. If you put all the great things that you want out of a player, Johnny had it. I mean, he was really special. Mark is a guy that plays the game so hard.
Yeah.
And oftentimes he plays so hard that hard gets in the way of what he's supposed to do because he's so super intense. But and he's still got a few more years. And if he evens out a little bit more, I think he can equate to Johnny.
Okay. For Coach Yeng,
Yes.
at the point, Al Solis versus Paul Lee.
Although also is more of a two-guard, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's a
but
1-2.
At the point.
he
So is
played
Paul.
some point. He played some point for me. Paul's probably a little bit more athletic.
Yeah.
But Al was a better three-point shooter. Paul can shoot the three-point shot, but
Coach Tim knows.
yeah. Paul can shoot the three-point shot, but Al Solis was
he was
a
lights out.
specialist. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was a specialist. He was a three-point specialist. Paul is a little bit more mobile, athletic. Al was, in Tagalog, they call it the discarte player. You know, he was a leader. He brought together all the guys, and he had this instinct that we call that the Cebuano Instinct. You know, these guys from Cebu, they know situations. They read situations. Probably because of their training as street ballers in Cebu, they can read situations. And in situations like that, you get the ball to Al. He knows when he's going to shoot, and he knows when he's going to pass. Paul is a little younger. Paul is still going to mature.
Yeah.
And he's going to get better. And that's going to be scary for Coach Tim.
He's not happy right now.
For all the teams, you know. And Paul is really playing well now because he's in better shape.
Yeah.
He lost a few pounds. He's quicker and he's stronger. He's a lot more consistent with his game. And Paul doesn't need to play 30 minutes to make an impact in a game. You make Paul play 18 to 20 minutes, he's going to be a big impact in game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, between Paul and Al, I'll take Paul now, but Al, clutch guy also with the three-point shot, and Al would make better decisions then, but Paul is coming to that. Paul is going to make better decisions in a year or so.
I'm glad you brought up the three-point shots because my next question is Al Solis, Jeff Chan at the three-point line.
Oh, same. Wow, that's difficult. Al, as I said, is going to take over a game not only because of his three-point shot, but because he commands respect, and he's a leader. Jeff needs to develop that aspect of the game, the leadership aspect of a game. Jeff, I think, has improved a lot because it used to be you had to set up Jeff for the three-point shot. Now he's coming off the screen and he can create a shot on his own. People thought before that he was just strictly a three-point shooter. Now he can drive to the basket. He can go strong. And people thought that he was offense-oriented. Now he can defend.
Yeah.
Jeff can defend. And I think that's the reason also why he was picked up for the Gilas program. Because when you go abroad and you play for the national team, you just can't play offense. You have to play defense on the other side.
Yeah.
And he's done that. So, again, three-point shooting is about even for the two of them. Jeff needs to exercise a little bit more leadership, and Al was a natural leader for the team. But again, all around, maybe Al a little bit, but Jeff is going to get better with his penetrations and is going to get better with his defense.
All right. For Coach Tim, especially in the fourth quarter and the fourth period, these two guys kind of take over during points of the game as well. PJ Simon and Jojo Lastimosa.
Well, they're both terrific scorers.
Yeah.
Again, you're talking about all around. PJ's really quiet, and he's kind of like a silent operator, and he has these incredible runs where he just scores in huge bunches. And he's a mismatch to everybody. He really has people have a hard time matching up to him, especially when we play a big lineup and you have point guards guarding him. His eyes get like this. Yeah. When he sees a point guard in front of him, oh, give me the ball, because he can beat anybody there. Jojo was like you were talking about with Al. He was a leader. He was a captain of our team, and he played huge. Jojo was the kind of guy who could just not make a shot for 3 quarters, and I'd be screaming at him all game, and he'd be screaming back at me, and I'd say, Jojo, what's going on? And then all of a sudden the fourth quarter would start, and then bang, 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 bang. He would hit every shot. And he was really a clutch guy. And he was a real physical type player. He was really strong and physical, liked to create contact. PJ's more of a quicker, off the floor kind of player. But Jojo was really special in that leadership category. He was a special leader. And so there's a little bit of an edge. I'd probably give it to Jojo just because of the leadership.
But in the clutch, James Yap or Jolas?
Well, I would have thought Jojo and James would have been probably a better comparison.
Yeah.
James just has ice in his veins.
Yeah.
I mean, just nothing phases him. He'll throw up any shot, anytime, and be 100% sure it's going to go in. I mean, he just has no doubt about his game. And so he just has really, truly ice water in his veins. And Jojo just had a knack for hitting, kind of taking over a game. But James is, I don't know, it's kind of weird. He's just kind of fearless. Like I said, nothing phases him. I mean, his expression never changes. When he makes a shot, it's like, okay, I made it. He's very different that way.
You're so right. Nothing faces James, I scream at him, I curse at him just to get him out of his game. And he smiles at me.
Yeah, exactly. I scream at him too. He smiles back at me. I mean, he just really is that way. He's a unique kind of a player, and you won't find players like him. And I guess that's why he is who he is and why he hits those big shots all the time. And he doesn't look for them. Jojo would really give me the ball. But James doesn't really demand anything. He doesn't really, he's not the kind of personality who's going to be overbearing on you. Jojo and I would fight all the time. But James is James. He's unique. He's really different.
Okay, I've been wanting to ask this for the long. Okay, we have extra rice.
Yeah.
That would be Kanyahan, Bo Belga.
Yeah. Well, it used to be Paul Lee too, but
He cut down on the rice.
He was the junior.
he was a junior extra rice, so he trimmed down.
And we have Nelson Aceitono and Balingit or
Zaldi.
Ria Lubit.
Zaldi.
Yeah. Balingit or Ria Lubit. Whichever
Maybe something about Nelson first. I personally, I thought Nelson should have been in the top 40.
We're going to get to that too.
I thought he should have been there. But of course, they know what they're doing. Maybe he's going to get there sometime. But at the time that Nelson was playing, if I still remember right, there was illegal defense then, if I remember. Yeah. And it made coaching for me a lot simpler because with illegal defense, you needed the best one-on-one player at that time, and I thought he was probably one of them. Maybe Alvin was one of them.
No, I think Nelson was probably the most talented player that we've ever seen in our league.
You give the ball to him, post, or you give the ball to him at the perimeter, he can beat anybody. Yeah. Even the imports. Yeah. Even the imports couldn't guard him. He dropped 30, 40 points every night, consistent. And he was one of those bigs who can play the outside. He can shoot the three-point shot. He can drive to the basket. He can dribble. He can work with his back to the basket. He spotted players on the kick-out because he knew he was being double-teamed. And that's why Al Solis got his three-point shots, and all those bigs got their cuts going for them. So what Nelson has accomplished, I think Bo and JR still needs to accomplish them. I mean, we won a couple of championships with Nelson. We won one championship with Bo and JR. So I think it's a good example for Bo and for JR to just emulate. And you know, Nelson wasn't the most hardest working player.
But it was just
He was just talented.
He was gifted.
He was talented.
Truly
You know?
gifted.
Yeah.
Would you say, is it safe to say that he was kind of like LeBron in the PBA during his time? Like, that's how good he was.
Well, you know, I think one setback Nelson had was his mind was off to some places sometimes. I mean, it was just the focus. If he just focused, he could have been really one of the best. I mean, mentally, sometimes he wasn't in the game.
Yeah.
But if he was in the game, he was unstoppable.
All right.
Can I tell one story about Nelson? Just one. Listen, you weren't coaching him at that. He was with San Miguel, but he had come out, and we were in Cebu, and he came out in the finals, and he hit 42 points against us in the finals, in game 2, I think it was. And so I came back to the locker room, and we lost. And I came back to the locker room, and I said, well, look, if we played a great game. If Nelson's going to score 40 points against us, we're going to lose. That's just it, But he won't score 40 points against us. Went back to Manila, played the next game, he had 47. That was him. I mean, he just, that was all Filipino. How many people do we have nowadays scoring 30 points a game? Anybody.
Exactly. No.
Rarely do we see anybody scoring. He was scoring 40 back then. And we were good defensive teams back there.
And you know, that time I had the privilege of having Nelson and Vergel Meneses in my team.
Yes.
And I had no problems with offense. Incredible.
All right, we'll be back after the break. More of Coach Tim and Coach Yeng. You're watching Sports Desk. Keep it here. We are still here with Coach Yeng and Coach Tim. And of course, since it is Christmas, we have to ask you, what is the Christmas tradition at the Cone household and at the Guiao household?
Well, for me, we go to my in-laws, the Villa Plana household, and spend Christmas there. That's always been, ever since I've been married, I've been spending all my time over at their house. So it's nice to have a family.
Coach Yeng?
Well, we'll be playing a game on Christmas. We'll be practicing before that. But Christmas Eve, I'm in Pampanga, also with my in-laws. New Year, I'm in Manila with my mother. Okay. So most of the time, I'm doing politics work. Since it's vacation time also, so I move around my district.
But during the Christmas dinners, I know we have to wrap up really quick, but during Christmas dinners, is the conversation basketball?
Basketball.
My Villa Planas, my father-in-law played for LaSalle, my brother-in-law played for LaSalle, so I get into that table and that's all we talk about. My 9-year-old son's yelling, can't we talk about anything else? But no, it's basketball. That's all we ever talk about.
Coach Yeng?
It's basketball, politics, and a little bit of movies or it's just light stuff.
Okay.
All right, just a Christmas message to all of the fans out there who are watching us tonight. Coach Yeng?
Merry Christmas to really everyone. It's for our Purefoods fans. I wish it was a merrier Christmas. For the Rain and Shine fans, I'm sure it's going to be a very good one. But we had a great run last year, and I hope with the new year will bring another good run for us. But Merry Christmas, all the same.
I'm sure we'll have a good Christmas because we're not playing Coach Tim anymore. So that's a big headache off our shoulders. Merry Christmas to everyone. The Rain or Shine fans, we're just so glad and so happy that we're able to keep them happy also. Okay. We're also able to give our best for them.
We have a two-part special with these two great coaches.
We can't
basketball
just have
players.
one
No, it's not enough.
episode
It is
with them.
not enough. And when we, for our second episode, we're going to be asking you about the 40 greatest players list of the PBA.
That's going to take up one entire episode.
It just might.
All right, thank you so much. And of course, don't forget tomorrow night, Coach Tim Cohen and Coach Yeng Guiao are still joining us. And we are going to talk about the 40 greatest players in the PBA. Catch part 2 tomorrow. For everyone at Sports Desk, I'm Cheska Litton.
But before we say goodnight, we'll leave this question to Coach Tim and to Coach Yeng. What do you guys want for Christmas?
Wow.
What do you guys want for Christmas?
What do I want for Christmas?
Yeah.
Oh, gee, I don't know. I'm at that age now where I don't know.
You don't know? You don't know?
You know,
A win.
A championship.
A championship.
Also, you want your players to be healthy and complete, as well as your family to be healthy. So health is just fantastic for us. I mean, if we can all be healthy, it's going to be great.
Well, thank you very much,
Thank
coaches.
you.